Now that the material has been cut, I'll want to look at the material to see which side is the side that I want it to show. Usually with this material, one side is brighter than the other side. So I like to use the bright side myself. Right side. And I have one off-color one, just to be fancy. I like to use its bright side also. We'll start by laying out the pentagon and how I want to do the triangles for the colors around the pentagon. This is really important for making a foot bag that has different colors in it, like this spiral design here. Now that the patterns are all laid out, go ahead and add a little bit more so I can see what this foot bag will look like. And put the needle about halfway in between. Now for this first stitch, it's real important that you use a nice solid knot with a little bit of slack on the end. For the style that I'm going to show you, I like to grab that slack on the end with the last stitch to make sure that the thread does not come out. Just go ahead and do it 3 times. Looks like a pretty good size knot there. When sewing a foot bag, we want to sew it inside out, but I want to know what colors I'm going to be looking at. So I'm going to put the colors that I want together. I'm going to even out the space in between. And the pattern that I'm going to use is I'm going to sew around the pentagons. Let's go ahead and start. Pierce through the corner. Let's see how far that is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 or 4 centimeters from the edge. I don't like to get too close to the edge because I don't want the material to rip. Go through the other side. Pentagon. That's 2 stitches on the pentagon side. And for me, I like to show 3 stitches on the pentagon side. So for every side of the panels you stitch together, I like to have 3 stitches. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten what we've just done. And I'm just going to tighten it a little bit. A little bit tight is going to have more of a bigger foot bag look, like this one right here. Really tight, almost all the way tight, you're going to have a smaller foot bag like this one. We then grab the next triangle, match it up to the triangle that we've just put in, and we're going to go through the top parts of the triangles. I then match it up with the pentagon. Now I'm going to pull this other triangle out of the way, making sure I don't stitch into it. And then I'm going to go around and come on top of the pentagon. There we go. Then repeat the process. It's important to go slowly when stitching so that you don't have any knots in the thread. And taking your time when piercing the fabric, trying to make sure that the fabric doesn't move as you stitch. Once again, there's my 3 stitches on that side of the panel. And trying to make sure you start and end on these corner parts of the pentagon. Always tighten up with the stitches you just made. Just a little tighten for this one. And begin the process again with the next triangle. Tighten it up. Last triangle piece. Match it up to the pentagon side. And repeat the process. One, this one you might run out a little bit of room, so you may need to make your stitches a little bit tighter. It's real important to get them evenly across. If you don't get them evenly, the stitches will show easier on the foot bag. Last one. Close to the starting point again. Tighten it. And then, for me, this style, I want to finish the foot bag panel, and I want everything to be symmetrical. So I'm going to go ahead and pierce through the triangles one more time, like I was just going to start on the other side of it. Pierce it through. And then what I like to do is I like to go around it and pierce it through one more time on that extra top part of the panel, just like that. And see, this is going to make a loop right here. And for me, I put my extra loose thread through that loop, so that when I tighten it, it tightens on the loose thread. So that makes sure that this foot bag is not going to come undone. Then lastly, I'm going to go ahead and tie some knots around this last end point. Grab that thread, loose thread at the end. That's one knot. And for me, I like sets of 3. One more knot. That's 2. Last one. And there's the third one. So now we have the knots and the stitches all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and measure a little bit out from the string. Go ahead and cut it off. Now I'm going to go ahead and check it out. Examine the first panel of the foot bag. The process will continue for each pentagon.